Well, first off, I just want to got to give Coach Belichick and the New England Patriots a ton of credit. They came in shorthanded. They battled and took us all the way to the end, plus some. And it's never easy winning in this league, and certainly there's a lot of things that we need to do better. But you know, bottom line is we found a way when we needed to, and we made just enough plays to come out on top. And I was proud of our guys just coming in at halftime. Certainly didn't want to come in like that, but you know, we talk about how do you respond to adversity, and I thought there was a lot of adversity throughout the course of the game, and our guys, you know, stuck together. And you know, they're not always going to be pretty wins, and I'm okay with that. You guys can criticize us, that's cool, but bottom line is we found a way to win. So open it up.
Matt, you've made it clear you're not going to apologize for winning. When you look at this game, though, and you're playing a third-string quarterback, there's some winning is great, but what are you concerned about? Can you continue to win this way, I guess is my question.
Yeah, no, every week has new challenges, and you know, I thought there was a lot of good things we did, and then there's a lot of things that we've got to clean up. But you know, the bottom line is, as soon as you think you have a game won before the game's even played, you a lot of times that bites you in the butt. And for me, I know it's easy for me to never go there, because you have to play the game. And there's a lot of times you can beat yourself. And certainly, you know, we always talk about the ball. When you lose the turnover battle, you're kind of putting yourself back against the 8 ball. So to be able to come out on top and losing the turnover battle, I think is, you know, it says a lot about our guys, just the resiliency that we look for.
Aaron said he thought you were probably kicking yourself over that challenge.
Yeah, I'm not too proud of that moment. That was an emotional decision, and I think it's a great learning lesson that, you know, you can never make those emotional decisions in the heat of the battle. You know better. I mean, you got to survive the ground. Connor Lewis, he's up in my ear. He's up in the box, and he's in my ear, and he said, I don't think so. And he said that we shouldn't challenge it, and just made it an emotional decision. And it was almost like throwing a Hail Mary. And that could have came back and bit us in the butt. And, you know, but again, I'd rather learn from that, being on this side. Thank God our guys bailed me out in that regard, but definitely the worst decision of the day by me.
What went into the decision to go with Dylan on that last drive? You used him quite a bit.
Well, we started running more downhill runs, and I thought the push was pretty good. You know, there was, I think earlier in the game we were sticking with Aaron Jones. We ran a lot more outside zone. But either one of those guys got a lot of trust in them, and I just felt AJ was able to move the pile a little bit, and did a great job.
Matt, why no Hail Mary at the end? And I'm assuming you didn't want a pitch to Elton Jenkins on that play?
Definitely did not want the pitch. That's just a decision based on the look we got.
That Aaron took a couple of shots down the field when you seemed like when you got occasional one-on-one coverage there. Do you support that? Do you feel like you need to take those shots once in a while, even though they didn't seem to really work out that well? Is there more than just completing them?
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to show that you're willing to do that. Otherwise, you're going to get that the whole game, and then it's going to be really tough to move the ball. So absolutely 100%. You know, you always want to be process-driven, not result-driven. Certainly we'd like better results, and we also know that when you do take shots down the field, the odds of you completing those passes are less than if you dink and dunk short. So there's a lot of things that we definitely need to clean up in terms of just being able to put our players in better positions when teams are manning us up, and you know, that's one of the things we'll look at.
Matt Aaron said he hopes maybe by next week that some of the play calls will be less than 18 syllables.
Yeah, it was
in all
pretty
seriousness,
verbose.
Is that something you guys would look at to maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. I think especially when we're struggling, I think sometimes in those moments, you just kind of want to get a little bit of tempo going or whatever, just in and out of the huddle quickly. You know, a lot of those plays, and I thought for sure, you talk about starting the second half, right? A lot of these plays that that have a lot of words are can plays. So if they give you one look, you're trying to get premier play calls in versus whatever look they give you, and you got to give New England a ton of credit because they give you a lot of different looks, and so you could be running some pretty bad plays into those looks. That's kind of how the second half started. So we came out with a can play, and they gave us the look for the pass, and I knew just based on how the first half went, I was a little concerned that we were going to get booed out of the stadium if we went 3 and out with 3 consecutive passes, and I definitely said that to our coaches on the headset. I was like, man, we're about to get booed out of here. But thankfully, we made a critical third down throw and catch to Allen on the right sideline on a go ball, shot down the field, spoon for you. But, you know, our guys, I guess, bailed me out again right there because I could feel it.
You mentioned something along the lines, and that's not exact what we were talking about, thinking you had the game won before the game's played. Was there some of that, do you think?
I don't think so. I think that's you guys. I think that's the fans. I don't think so. I think we have enough respect for teams in this league that you have to show up and play your best ball. The competitive balance, it's marginal. And you can see it all across the league. There's going to be upsets each and every week. And so I just think it's the outsiders that feel that way too many times. And unless you're in this business, and I don't think you truly can appreciate just the competitive balance that exists in the National Football League.
Matt, did you and Joe talk about the possibility of better matching up against when they bring in the extra offensive linemen in terms of personnel, 1 to 4 defensive linemen or anything like that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that we gotta clean up in terms of those, because we knew they were going to run the football, and there were moments in that game where we didn't do a very good job. So that's something we'll take a good hard look at moving forward.
Matt, going back to that first drive of the second half, so is the Lazard 32-yarder in front of their bench, is that the play call, or is that a can play where he?
No, it's third down. So like 3rd and 10, unless you're trying to concede it, we're more than likely gonna throw the football. Not to say that for all our opponents out there, not to say that we won't ever run the football in a 3rd and 10 situation, but I would say the majority of teams in this league, it's gonna be like 95% pass.
So the reason I ask is, so obviously that's a huge play, right, to get you going. But then you pick up the 4th down on that great pitch to Aaron, where he goes for like 17 yards. You end up with the touchdown to 10. Like, did you feel like that drive got you going, and did you think that maybe that would kind of get the ball rolling for you guys offensively?
Yeah, I thought so, and I think, I want to say they responded right after that drive, right, and took the lead back, and then we countered it and were able to get 3 points on a field goal. I want to say we definitely were more committed to the run in the second half. I know I'm always asking our guys up top who are charting runs and passes, kind of where we're at, and it was definitely teetering on the heavy side of run. But I think that's just, every game's going to be a little bit different, and it's just about trying to find ways to move the football in order to score points and win a game.
The defense has given up a couple of touchdowns there, but then last 3 drives, I don't think the Patriots had a single first down. Talk about, I guess, the overtime possession. They get the ball at midfield. They only need a field goal. How big of a stand was that?
It was huge. It was absolutely, obviously, it was helped win us the game. And, we definitely, from a field position standpoint, I definitely don't think we won that today. Although Pat had a couple nice punts that were, that definitely changed the field position. But yeah, I thought for sure, you know, you're always trying, especially when you're the play caller, you're trying to get your thoughts for the next series. But there was a moment there I was like, oh man, this is not looking very good. And thankfully our defense came up with a critical stop, obviously, and they pinned us back and were able to convert a third down in the you know, on that last drive there. That was pretty big time.
And is the play, the pick six, is that generally a safe play at that juncture in the game? Did you just take a chance, the corner, or?
Yeah, I'll have to look at it because things happen pretty quickly in the heat of the battle, and in terms of, so it was, and I want to say, was it Jack Jones that picked that off? Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit. He was playing pretty soft, you know, that we noticed throughout the game, but sometimes those guys are pretty dangerous because they'll play off a long ways, but they'll jump a route. And you got to give him a lot of credit because he made the play.
Matt, how much did you know about Bailey Zappi coming in, and did his entry change your game plan at all?
Not a whole lot, to be honest with you. I know our defense studied all the preseason film, but to sit here and, you know, say that I personally knew a lot about him, you know, I did not. But you got to give him a ton of credit because I thought the kid came in and played with great poise. You know, I think our pass rush is pretty real, and you can feel that. And I thought he did a really good job for what he was asked to do.
You mentioned how maybe we play a role in the idea of winning a game before it's played. We probably play a role in hyping up your defense before the season started too, but your guys on defense thought really highly of themselves coming into the season too. What do you kind of think just things are on that side of the ball, and how can you kind of play to the level that I think you're expecting from it?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to hold people down in this league, and certainly offensively, we spotted them 7 points too. So you got to take that into account. But you know, I think it's been there's been a lot of great moments. I mean, and you're only as good as your last performance. That's just the reality of the world we live in, and that's you know, we always talk about you either getting better or getting worse. You're never saying the same. So you know, there's a lot of things that I thought we did really well, but there's a lot of things that we have to clean up moving forward as, you know, week to week, because this league is constantly progressing and you're going to face different challenges every week. And we're going to have another 3-1 team in London, and that's a challenge in itself. And it's the same for both teams, right? I mean, in terms of just whoever can handle that travel the best, typically will go out there and perform the best. So, and, you know, you look at the Giants, and Saquon Barkley is definitely a force, and he's one of the premier backs in this league. And there's a lot to clean up before we go and we get on that plane to go to London.
Two more, please.
Matt, did anybody on your sideline notice the clock expiring on the Devontae Parker touchdown, on the play clock going down?
I did not. Jason mentioned that to me prior to coming in here, but I was totally unaware of that in the moment.